Hey guys, Andy here from Mediocre Hobbies coming at you with more Old World content. As we all know, the pre-order for the Old World went live last Saturday morning and it was a hectic time for all. Pretty much everything sold out. The queuing system was in place, which did what it did. It made people queue. The website didn't crash, but a lot of us still missed out on a bunch of stuff, which was a bit of a pain. I unfortunately only managed to get my hands on the map. I did want the Tomb Kings box set and a bunch of the extra Tomb King characters and Bretonnian characters I didn't get my hands on. So I have to wait for the second restock for those bits to come out. So in the meantime, what I thought I'd do for you is bring you more awesome videos for those people who did manage to get some of that stock on the day. And one of the most interesting and most exciting units that I thought returned was, of course, the Sphinx. So obviously you can make this thing as a Necrosphinx or the Colossus or whatever. So I decided for this particular video I was going to make it into a Necrosphinx, which is the awesome big combat bladed kind of walking behemoth of doom. It's an absolutely incredible miniature. Incredible character, and back in the day it was one of those things that seemed quite intimidating to paint. So what I'm going to do in today's video is try and alleviate those fears for you and help you get those miniatures on the table quickly, efficiently and easily. Before I do that, I just want to say two quick things. One, thank you to all of my active patrons. Without you guys I cannot continue doing what I'm doing, so from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. If you're interested in getting involved in that, there are links in the description below. Access to a private Discord server and an extra video every single week is just two of the awesome benefits for becoming a member. And two, I am trying my best to get to 100,000 subscribers this year. I really want to push the channel to new heights, give you guys as much epic content as humanly possible. And as a reward system set up for that is I will be hopefully giving away a Titan at the end of this year. So I have these little milestones in mind. So for instance, at 65,000 subscribers, if I get to that at the end of the year, I'll give away a free Warhound. If I get to 80,000 subscribers by the end of the year, I'll give away a free Reaver. And if I get to 100,000 subscribers, I'm going to give away a free Warlord Titan. All you need to do to be in with a chance is make sure that you're subscribed. Okay guys, without further ado, let's get in and paint this awesome Tomb Kings miniature. Okay, so this is the awesome Necrosphinx miniature. I had built it a couple of years ago in the intention of using it for Age of Sigmar, hence that was on that silly circle base or oval base. So I tore it off of that and I laser cut a new sized base. I think it's 100 by a 60, which is what the new Necrosphinx base size is. As for what color to spray it, I sprayed it black. Now you could stop here and spray it black and then you could do the gold with an overbrush, just basically a big heavy dry brush all over to get the whole model gold. I have access to a can of gold spray, so of course I'm going to use it to save myself some time. Can of gold spray is never something bad to have in your arsenal. It's an expensive can of spray. They're like 22, 26 euro, which is a lot of money for a can of spray. But if you're using it sparingly, or if you're doing a Custodes army or a Stormcast Eternals army or something like that, it will save you so much time that I think it's definitely worth its weight in gold, funnily enough. Especially for something like this. I got a beautiful smooth coat of gold across the entire miniature as a beautiful starting point to start painting this thing. Obviously it's going to save me a lot of time, so I guess it's all about how much you value your time. Okay, after that I pulled up many images of Necrosphinx on Google Images and trying to find out where all the specific gold parts were, and what I did was I targeted those bits with my Reikland Fleshshade wash. So obviously I didn't need to apply to the entire miniature, as we're obviously going to do some of that bluey marbly effect on quite a lot of the structure. So the Reikland Fleshshade was a, strategic. You literally wanted to find out where all the gold was and make sure you put that. So for instance, those lines underneath his ribcage there, I probably would have done them all blue if I hadn't kept checking resources and realized that they were part of the gold structure as well. After I got the gold done, or the Reikland Fleshshade done, as you can see, it added a lot of warmth to the miniature and to the gold, which is kind of what I was looking for. I didn't want it to be that cold, old, like new looking gold. This is a Tomb King. This is 1,000 years old at least, so I definitely want that. After that I grabbed some Leadbelcher base paint and I gave the whole gold section a dry brush. I just wanted to catch the edges and bring out a bit of I don't know, I just wanted to make sure all the details did pop. We did get a little bit of a highlight across the gold, because with that kind of shade applied it can start to look a little flat, which is not something that I was trying to achieve. One of the things that I like to try and achieve with my paint jobs is the achievability of them. That's the main focus. Can you guys watch this video and go from, an unpainted miniature to a painted miniature without stressing and going crazy? You want to know how the silver worked? You saw there a minute ago, the bottom half of the model compared to the top half of the model is a huge difference. This is how it kind of pops from that yellow or from that silver dry brush. So if we exclude sprays, which I know sprays are expensive, and I do actually use 3 cans of spray in this paint job, Hopefully you guys have those kind of sprays at access already and you're not costing yourself much more money. But obviously if you look at a lot of Games Workshop videos on how to paint things, you know, the first step is mix this 50-50 and then mix this 50-50 and then do this. And I just think it's insane that they are trying to get the masses to paint miniatures with that kind of a mentality. Like, so far, excluding sprays, we've used 3 paints on this model. We've used the Reikland Fleshshade, we've used the Leadbelcher, and now we've used the Incubi Darkness base coat as the first coat on all the marbly stuff. If you keep that in mind, and keep in mind the number of paints used in this entire video to get this giant monster paint. Like, if you look at this in a shop and you saw this, you know, this big thing, you're probably going to think you're going to need 50 paints to get this. And probably if you watched a lot of Games Workshop videos, he will tell you to get 50 paints. That is not needed. You can get stellar results with a small handful of paints. You can add to that paint, you know, that collection of paints, 2 or 3 pots at a time, and eventually you'll have enough paints to paint whatever the hell you want. Obviously, you've got these beautiful triangle motifs going through lots of the Tomb King stuff, and they're supposed to be those kind of red and blue, red and blue, red and blue, red and blue. I didn't want to introduce another blue to the scheme, once again saving on paint, and also I didn't want to have another kind of harsh color, so I decided to use the same blue that I'm going to play through all of the marble on all those triangles, and then obviously I'm going to come in with the reds and do an alternate scheme with that. And I think it works a trick. There is a million of those triangles that are supposed to be across this piece. I'm not going to be painting all of them. I'm going to pick some key kind of standout features. The bit that goes around his like neck joint and the bits that got on the flank of his armor. And those are the bits that I'm going to focus on. If you actually looked at the images on Google, you would see that there's, I bet 1,000 triangles that they expect you to paint red. Up and down the blades, there's like 100 tooth triangle system. You can see it there. It's ridiculous. And not only do I want, you know, paint schemes to be achievable and fun, I don't want them to take a million years. Like, we are now getting back into the realms of painting old world. Now, whether that's 2,000 or 3,000 or 1,000 point armies that you want to build, at the core of it, you'll be painting like 100 infantry and some artillery and a couple of monsters and a couple of beautiful characters and some wizards. It's just, it is going to always be a lot of miniatures to enjoy this particular game system. And that's okay. I love the look of it, and I'm okay with that. I've made my peace with the idea that I'm going to have to paint 100 men at arms, and I'm going to... But I think the key thing to remember is to try and simplify your paint schemes and speed them up so that you will get these nice armies on the table. I've seen people fall down too many times, and people talk about the idea of you have to do a tester miniature. What's your tester miniature going to be? And then someone picks up a single miniature, and it's a rank and file guy, and they spend hours poring over this, and they're like, oh, that's my scheme and that's my process, it looks absolutely stunning. And then they look at one painted miniature compared to the 99 unpainted miniatures, and they lose heart. So sometimes simple is better, you know what I mean? This is what I did with the Thunderhawk Blue. I pulled up all that marble effect and made it look really nice. I used that to highlight all of the blue triangles as well. We did the Mephiston red on all of the red triangles. We went back in with the Evil Sun Scarlet now for the red triangles, just to make them pop a little bit more. So what was it? Reikland Fleshshade, Leadbelcher. We did Incubi Darkness, Thunderhawk Blue, 2 coats of red. We're up to what, 6 paints now? Depending on which tail you give it, you're going to need a stinger or you're going to have the big blade. I went for the stinger, which is going to add 2 more pots of paint, which is Warpstone Glow and Moot Green, just to make that kind of envenomed kind of crystal thing pop a little bit. So that's 8 paints. And then, of course, at the end, I'm going to, I want to add a little bit of a shine or a shimmer to the kind of marbly effect. So what I did is I grabbed a can of Mediocre Varnish, which is another can from Games Workshop, and I gave the whole thing a spray of that. It made the gold a little bit shinier. It made the blue exactly what I wanted it to look like. Super quick, super easy, super effective. We used 3 cans of spray and 8 paints to paint this entire thing. Like, obviously you can go in and do all more triangles as much as you want. It won't add any more paint to it, and we've already used those paints, so you're good there. But other than that, I am super pleased with the result. I'd be more than happy to put this on a tabletop and use it in as many games as I feel fit. Here's what it looks like with a couple of still images. And hopefully I'll be bringing you guys many more old world videos, trying to fight through the backlog of monsters and scary miniatures so that you guys are able to get those done on the tabletop, feeling good, and hopefully rolling some good dice very soon. Well guys, there we have it. I've got my Necrosphinx painted up and ready to serve along my legions of Tomb Kings that I unfortunately still have to paint, but I will get to them at some point in the near future. I'm currently working through Bretonnians for a slow grow campaign with a bunch of friends of mine. So we're going to do an old traditional Tale of Many Warlord style campaign, and hopefully we'll bring you a bunch of content around that in the near future as well. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you give the video a like. Let me know what other content from the old world you would like to see, whether that's specific armies, specific miniatures, specific things. I literally have everything for the old world. I was such a huge collector of it back in the day, so my my cupboards are brimming with potential. So yeah, if you did enjoy it, make sure you give the video a like. Ask me any questions you want in the comments below. I will get back to each and every one of you guys, and make sure that you're subscribed to see more old world content and be with a chance to win a Titan. Thank you so much for sticking around. I'll see you in the next video.